Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Paul Hutchings. Hope you're having a great, marvelous, magnificent Monday. This is episode 129 of The Good Parts, a daily social media show where I go live once a day, Monday through Friday, to share one good part from my life and or business in an effort to help me and you create more prosperity, success, happiness, abundance, goodness, all the good things that life has to offer. So in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you what I believe to be is the simplest way to multiply any business. And this was just a little inspiration that came from a lunch that I had Friday with a great entrepreneur friend of mine. We sometimes have what we like to lovingly call Sushi Friday, where we go have some sushi on Friday and have great lunch and have great conversation and catch up. And so as we were finishing up the lunch, I took my friend back to his house. I picked him up and we're parked in his driveway. And by the way, if you're tuning in live or on the replay, if you would do me a favor and comment below, like Veronique here. Hey, happy new week to you. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, what's good in your world. Share the good news. Anything good happening in your life and business, comment below. I'd love to hear about it. But anyway, so we're parked in his driveway, and as we often do, we sat and talked for like an hour. Sometimes our wives give us a hard time because it's not uncommon for us to go to lunch and then 6 o'clock we get done, because we just talk and talk and talk and talk. He's one of those friends. So anyway, we're talking, and I start to tell him this story about a time a few weeks ago where one of my kids was doing some work for me around the house. He was weed whacking, and when he'd finished up the job, I went around and looked at the job that was done. And I was thankful for the job that he did. And at the same time, I was noticing some spots that he missed. He didn't get around the hydrant. There were a few kind of, patchy spots. And so, hey, Nick, good to see you. Happy New Week to you. Thanks for tuning in today. And so I went up to my son and I said, hey, let's go take a look at, your job. Number one, thank you. It looks good. I appreciate it. And we're walking around the yard and I said, hey, how about this over here? He's like, yeah, I missed that. And hey, over here, yeah, I missed that. And so I said to my son, I said, son, do you know that in every job that you do, there are two ways that you get paid? Do you know what those two ways are? And he thought about it. And he's like, well, I get paid money. And I said, yeah, that's the second way you get paid money. I said, what's the first way, son? And he couldn't quite come up with it. So I shared with him the first way that I believe we all get paid for every job that we do. I said, the first way is the feeling that you get from looking at the work that you did that is the best work that you can possibly do. If you will do any job to the best of your ability, and even go the extra mile on the job, when you get done and you look at your creation and you just behold it and you say to yourself, wow, that's stunning work. That's incredible work. That's the best that I could do. You have this feeling of payment inside of you, of a job well done, satisfaction, the payment of satisfaction, knowing that you did the best that you could do. That's payment number one. And my son was shaking his head as I was, sharing this with him. And I said, now, son, if you do that for all of the work that you do for other people where they've hired you to do something, I said, let me ask you this. What do you think those people will tell their friends about you? And he said, well, they'll probably say that I'm a good person to hire. And I said, that's right. And do you think that if you did this kind of work, you would find it hard to find customers? And he's like, probably not. So that's the first story. So I was telling my friend this story, and then my friend, who's also a father, he says, this is so true. He says, my son, Jack, was mowing my lawn, and he did his work, and there were a few spots that could have been done a little better. So I went out. This is what my friend said. He said, I went out and I told my son, he said, son, he said, if you do the best that you can do and you make this beautiful, he said, the neighbors over here, they're driving by, they're watching you, do this work. He said, son, there's a chance that if you do amazing work, the neighbors will want you to then go mow their lawns. And his son Jack's like, really, Dad? He's like, yeah. So his son Jack, with a little coaching from his dad, goes back, goes the extra mile, does a superb job on my friend's lawn. And lo and behold, this is what my friend sent me. We see some new folks tuning in. Looks like Veronique had a birthday. Awesome. Well, happy birthday to your son. Nick says gratification. Yeah, gratification for accomplishing something, and not just accomplishing it, but doing it in the best way you could, giving it your all, because the other thing that my friend and I talked about, Nick and everyone else here, is that, we were talking about my friend and his brother who had read this book from this well-known guru who is basically saying, don't worry about doing things that you love. Just focus on the money. Whatever you can do to make a ton of money, that's your number one goal. If you hate what you're doing, just got to make the money. Wherever you can go to make the most money, that's the thing. And my friend and I were kind of having a little, discussion on this because we have a different philosophy. We kind of believe that there are things that you can do that bring happiness to you, that you enjoy, that also can bring happiness to other people. And we were talking about how if you love what it is that you do, it can be easier to put all you have into that thing. And the other thing that's in alignment with that is, we're talking about like a sense of fulfillment, meaning in whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever profession you're in. And one of the conclusions that we came to as we were talking is that if you remove the people element from the equation, so in other words, it's just all about the money and the people element is removed, our assumption, and you guys can let me know if you agree or disagree on this, but our assumption is that it will probably be harder to find meaning and fulfillment. So in other words, if there are people involved in whatever it is that you're doing, delivering a service, delivering a product, and there's a person on the other end receiving that product or service, putting everything you have into that job, whatever it is, not only is it an act of love for yourself because you're giving yourself that payment of showing yourself what you can do and also proving to yourself that you go the extra mile. It's an act of love for yourself, but also it's an act of love for your customer, because choosing to go the extra mile is not something that is required for receipt of payment for a product or a service delivered. Choosing to go the extra mile is a gift that you choose to give the people that you're giving your gift to. And my entrepreneur friend, in his recent past or somewhat recent past, he used to flip a lot of homes, and he would go into these homes and he said, I used to love just like going into a kitchen, and he's like, and I didn't have to do this. And in fact, he had people who were flipping houses in our local community. He said people would say, Brandon, why are you putting these expensive cabinets in this kitchen for a flip? Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. You don't need to make it so like high end and premium. And Brandon said, I just love seeing the look on people's faces when I finish this product and I walk them through the home. And specifically, usually the wife, when she goes into the kitchen and she's just like, wow. He loved that feeling of being able to give something to them that he didn't have to give, just going the extra mile, making it the best that he could make it. And so as we talked about that, we talked about how it's literally a gift where you're not just looking for the money, but you're looking for the delivery, like the effect that your creation, your delivery, your service has on the other person. And you put everything you've got, because you're not just wanting the money, but you're wanting that feeling that you have poured love into another human being that you didn't have to pour into. So anyway, that was the other part of the discussion. But back to my friend's son who did this amazing job mowing the lawn. He said, lo and behold, his next door neighbor comes over and he's like, did you mow this lawn? And his son Jack's like, yeah, I mowed the lawn. And his neighbor says, this is amazing. He goes, would you consider mowing my lawn? And his son Jack said, yeah, I'd love to. So his son Jack ends up mowing the lawn for his neighbor, does an amazing job, receives an amazing price. The neighbor throws in some candy as bonuses because he was so thankful. And then you know what the neighbor did? The neighbor told the other neighbor what a great job Jack had done. And then the other neighbor hired Jack to go mow his lawn. So now this one little job where Jack learned to go the extra mile and pour his heart and everything he had into doing everything he could to make it a pristine deliverable, that turned into 2 more customers simply because they saw what an amazing job that Jack did. And then the other part of the story is my friend was relating this to me is he said, you know what, Paul? he goes, after we had those customers, here's another thing we did. We made up flyers for Jack's lawn mowing service, and we dropped them off to every house in the neighborhood. And he said, you know how many customers we got from that? I said, how many? He said, 0. So not to say that advertising doesn't work, but I guess it's to highlight that just doing an amazing job and having someone see that and then love it and then talk about it, that really, I think, is the simplest way to multiply any business. So my invitation for you today is whatever business you're building right now, I would love to ask you, how can you do the job, deliver the thing, and a little bit more? And I think it's my belief that if you'll do that consistently over time, it'll be really hard for you to ever find yourself in a situation where you're lacking customers, because word of mouth will get around that you're just that kind of person that, hey, if you want this kind of service performed, this person is your man, this person is your woman, and it'll just kind of get around. So it's also law of success. If you're a student of Napoleon Hill, law of success number 8, the extra mile. A great quote on this is, it's never crowded on the extra mile. And I believe that's true. It is kind of rare to find people who will see the value in just doing that extra work and service to make it the best that it can be. So that's the simplest way to multiply any business, in my opinion. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see the comments down below. I'm going to jump to those real quick. And by the way, if you have any questions for me on anything, if I can answer the question, comment below and I'll do the best that I can to answer it. I do these episodes every day, Monday through Friday. If you got value from today's episode, I'd love to encourage you to subscribe to me on social media, wherever you're finding this. And also, if you want to pick up a free gift and subscribe to my email newsletter, you can do that at the website that's on the screen, paulhutchings.net/GIFTS. My number one mission is freedom through principle-centered leadership. So my goal is to help as many people as I can disconnect their time from their money, so they can grow a business in a way that is lucrative, that is profitable, that brings in a monthly recurring income stream enough to, help people do whatever they need to do in life, pay off the debt, pay the bills, but mainly achieve their dreams, but mainly that visual income aspect, disconnect their time from their money, so that you're freed up to have more of the time in your life to do things that you want to do, to serve people in the ways that you want to serve them, to spend more time with family. If that's something that you want to do, residual income is a really, really great way to do that. So in subscribing to my email newsletter, you'll see the business that I'm building that has created that situation in my life. And also, I send out a lot of content on personal development, success, sales, marketing, those kind of things. So anyway, that's that. And I'm going to jump to the comments. Let me know what is new for you. Did you guys have a good weekend? Let me know below. Dave Anderson says #live. Thank you so much, Dave, for saying hello, not being a lurker, letting me know you're here. I appreciate it. And did I see your name on the event attendee list for Freedom Fest? I think I did. So I don't know if you're going to be going live or virtually, but if you're going live, I'm really excited to meet you, Dave. He says, hello, brother Paul. Hello, brother Dave. Right back to you. Dave says, do your best always, no matter the job. 100%. I agree with that 100%. One of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn, he said, your philosophy is the major determining factor in how your life works out. Philosophy. What the heck does that mean? Well, part of it is, are you someone who has the philosophy of Dave here, where you're going to do your best always, no matter the job, how perceptually lowly the job, how perceptually highly the job, it doesn't matter. Like, can we all get into a place and a space in our minds where we're just making the decision to give whatever it is we're doing everything that we have? What a great pillar of a strong, successful philosophy. So thanks for that, Dave. Delroy says, hey, Paul. Hey, Delroy. Good to see you. Nick says, if you do a job in a meaningful way, then life will have meaning. Ooh, that is so good, Nick. I love that. And amen to that. Delroy says #live. Thanks for being here live, Delroy. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's it. I am ending the live. Thanks everyone for tuning in, either on the live and or on the replay. Love to encourage you to get out there, take action today, go for your dreams, do it in your best way, be fulfilled, love people, serve people, lift people, and do all those things for yourself as well. And I hope to see you in a future episode of The Good Parts. And here's Kevin Coe. Got to get you in too, my brother. He says, I'm building myself better and better, getting out of the comfort zone, ready for Freedom Fest. Awesome. Yeah, I love that so much. Get out of that comfort zone. That's, stretching, getting into new spaces, getting a little uncomfortable. What a great way to stay in growth. Doing these good parts was a little bit out of my comfort zone because I had gotten used to doing conference calls where people didn't see my face, all the time. I wasn't live with people via video. And so doing these lives was definitely out of my comfort zone, had some nervousness when I started. But now it's in my comfort zone now, 127 episodes later. It's like, hey, it ain't no thing. It's not a big deal. Go live, say some things, end the live, do it again tomorrow. Not a big deal. People watch, great. People don't watch, that's okay. I'm here to be consistent, and now it's in my comfort zone. And I think that a lot of things work like that. They're out of our comfort zone in the beginning, but then we do them and we do them and we do them and we do them. And all of a sudden now we're comfortable with them. And as long as those things are things that can help us become better and improve our skill set, those are definitely worthwhile things to bring into your comfort zone. So I'm rambling. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye for now.